J360 Radio.
Hello, J360 Legion, and welcome to the J360 Mini Bites here on J360 Radio, hosted by J.M. Brady. I am your host, J.M. Brady. Let's get into it. Hey, how's it going, J360 Legion? What is up? This is J.M. Brady, of course, and this is Mini Bites 201. And let me just tell you this, it's good to be back. We are starting off another production week here at J360 Productions. And let me just tell you this, we're on the new home of J360 Radio, j360radio.mixler.com. Yes, yes, yes. And by the way, I didn't mention this on last Mini Bites, but we are making a milestone. Last episode was 200, so that's 200 Mini Bites. And then not to mention, it started season 5, so now we're in the 5th era of actually doing J360 Mini Bites. Isn't that amazing? I'm loving every bit of it. And let me just tell you this, though. You know, with all the updates and everything going on, once again, I thank you for your patience. Stuff is still clicking around here. Things are looking good. And the growth has just been phenomenal. Not to mention, I'm feeling the love. But, you know, while I'm feeling the love and other things, I'm also noticing people are sitting there with, I don't know, what do you call it? Like when people like move forward into something else, but they always talk about how they miss the old days and stuff, or they miss all these things. I just gotta say this sometimes. The past is overrated, alright? Like, I remember the old days of starting J360 Radio, and I remember the old days of making more content for J360 Productions as a whole. And it's like this. Things have changed. You know, people grow. You know, people get different jobs. People get different things going on in their life. Life changes all the time, whether you're there or not. But the truth about this is that I've remained consistent with J360 Productions. You know, it's a thriving business. It's doing pretty good for itself. Not to mention the people that are around me helping me grow this thing on the outside and the inside of it. I mean, I am thankful for a lot of the things that occurred here. You know, whether they be good or bad or whatever. But a lot of it's in the green and, you know, just stayed focused on everything. I've noticed that there are more people that are wishing for those older days. Kind of like how, you know, like you look at some of the material that's coming out in mainstream America now. And like it's either a reboot, rehash, or any of this other stuff. Oh, it has to be like extensions of something that was already established. It's because certain people cannot move on from that stuff. You know what I mean? If it's something that's really important to you, you know, sometimes the best thing to do is just understand that it was good for its time, but you gotta learn to let go. You know what I mean? Because you gotta let stuff grow. I mean, like, I could have stayed on Spreaker. I could have went fully on YouTube. You know what I mean? Where the cool people are. And keep in mind, just because people are allegedly cool or allegedly growing or all that other stuff, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same result for you. Things change all the time. Things are always different for people, no matter how it is. Now, that being said, I'm not leaving YouTube. That is mine. That stays. But it's like, you know, from time to time, everybody's always got this whole gripe about it should be done a certain way. And it's like, you know what? That's cool because that's your opinion. But facts-wise, you know, doing it a lot differently. I got everything else under control. You know what I mean? And I have a big plan in mind of why I'm doing this. And I'm not going to tell you guys what that plan is. You just stay tuned. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you got to think about this. From every single creative choice and every single risk that I've taken building J360 Productions, I've seen it all. I've seen people that were ahead of me in the game look at me with jealousy. I've seen people that are in the same running with me that are looking at me with jealousy. I've seen other people try to, let's just say this, coattail ride, enable, copycat, or try to go ahead and tell me like, oh, I would like to take over, you know what I mean? And it's like, you're not going to. And then they try to find ways to try to chip at your character as a way of trying to make it seem like you'll be, you know, subservient to them. You don't really get it, do you? See, me and who I am and my whole thing, I don't have low self-esteem. All right? You know what I mean? Like, if I know that I am going to keep on punching through critics and keep on going a lot further than I need to, the more critics and the more haters and all that stuff I got, the more successful I am. And the thing about it is I'm doing it right because every single one of those negative, like naysaying, gatekeeping idiots out here that are so full of themselves and don't want to see people be creative and thrive and all, They're over there acting like they are creators. They're over there being influencers and all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, they are toxic to themselves and other people. I've seen this a lot with every single choice. God knows it happened when I created Jams. And, at the end of the day, it happened again when I created Project Conference and all these other things. No matter how far I go in upgrading and going forward, because it's a need to do so, there are people there that want to put their hooks in you to hold you back. Or they want to keep you in neutral and all this other stuff. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I keep going no matter what. And J360 Productions is the vehicle I drive in. And you see, the sad part about it is you're going to have people out there like, I don't know who I inspire. Like, I don't know all the people that are very happy to see me on the mic or happy to see me on J360 TV or just happy to see me. I don't know them all. But here's the thing. I know you're out there. And if you are inspired to go ahead and create any sort of media company or any sort, whether you're working in production or whether you're doing post-production or whether you're doing distribution, like any form or side of media production. See, we do it all here, but any form or side, you need to be good to yourself, for one, and stop worrying about everybody else around you. You know what I'm saying? See, and I've noticed this too, like, there are people out there who don't even have intentions. Like, they go after people who are doing the work instead of working for themselves. But then again, that's what parasites do, right? So it's like, don't be a parasite is what I'm saying. Like, if I inspire you to go ahead and try to do what I do, go ahead. But make sure it's your thing. You know what I mean? The copycat ain't going to get you far in life. It's going to fuck with you. It's just like any of them people that are coming out saying, we're podcasters now. We went to the store and bought mics, and now we're going to hook them up to our computers and talk about generic, tiresome, trifling crap to the point where it's more cliches. There's more cliches and fallacies out there than anything. Not to mention the lying going on these days. And it's sad, too. Like, I look at this stuff, and I'm like, and you think that you're on the same level as me or anybody else out here that's really thriving and doing what they got to do? Being humble is one thing, but I got to speak my truth. You're a fucking amateur. You're out of your damn mind. Like, I've seen failed musicians try hard to be radio hosts, and they cannot do it. I've seen some of them try to go on, let's just say, not YouTube live streams, but they go on television and they freeze. Because they're not used to it. It's just like, at the end of the day, when you do stuff like this, some of you are not even confident as you think you are. You want to put that stuff out there, but you got to play the part. Like, when I talk to some of you, or some of you can't even talk to me about partnering up or your special projects. Unlike certain other people can. You know what I mean? And I'm meeting you halfway about it. But if I'm sitting right there and you're like, well, theoretically, predictably, possibly, just stop it, all right? Cut out the adverbs. Screw the adjectives. Be direct. What do you want? You know what I'm saying? It's like when I deal with my clients sometimes. Yeah, they all have an idea. They all say all these things. But it's just so stupid how we got to where we are. By the way, shout outs to those live in the chat, by the way, if you're listening. It's just like, if you really want to be something, you got to be it. Now, there's a whole thing about me. Not everybody's like me. I'm just being honest. And you could go ahead and say, oh, let's look at his analytics. How come he's talking so much trash? It's like this. I'm starting from zero again. See, as soon as I moved from Spreaker, I forfeited all that stuff over there. But I took all the shows, I took everything that was mine, literally everything, and I'm over here, and I'm on Red Circle, and still distributing out to a lot of those podcast sources. But that's not the magic of J360 Productions. There's more to it than that. You know what I mean? It's the same way like when you look at any of these media companies. And I'm not talking about like the top mainstream. I'm talking about all the ones that are out here doing the friggin' work and getting the job done. not listening to nobody else, like actually being honest about what they're saying. But at the end of the day, some people are in this world are just dense and entitled, and I've seen it. I've seen like a fan of mine try so hard to be like, well, I'm gonna look into rebranding myself. It's like, why would you tell anybody that? You don't tell people this stuff. That's like going up to your supervisor and say, I'm thinking of taking a sick day on Friday. You don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And if you really have the stones and if you really want to make it, you focus on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to tell you what I do entirely, but I'm going to tell you, like, at the end of the day, I see more and more people talk. I see more and more people not really going for their things. I see more people wanting to quit. I see more people wanting to run away. And it's based off of anything nowadays. Oh, the merits are not as high. Oh, the money's not so good. Oh, all this other stuff. Money is money. Whether you're making like $1 on something or whether you're making like $10, you might look at it as a lump sum and look at the other one as an installment. You ever think about that? It's just like everything around here is changing and growing in a different way. And the way people are, which, by the way, hey, special shout-outs and thanks to you, Firkenstein. Keep working on your stuff, man. I seen you over there blowing up. I just look at people and I'm like, you've been saying all that depressing, ragged shit, and then you're hating on somebody like me who's just building his stuff. I've lost a lot of things, guys, in addition to doing this. I lost the girl that I cared about. I lost connections with a lot of prominent podcasters and filmmakers because I wanted to be my own person and I didn't want to be subservient to them. I lost a lot of traction on Twitter because Twitter, owned by Elon Musk, is worse than regular Twitter ever could be. You know what I mean? And I don't want you to go ahead and play a violin for me because I could give a shit. I don't care about that. If I cared about that stuff, I'd still be sitting there thinking about the old days and be like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Or like, I wish the pandemic would come back so that Jams' listens could be higher. I noticed a lot of people have a problem logging into Spreaker. That's one of the main reasons. But another thing is that over here on Mixler, it's a different story. Things are a lot more approachable. Things will change, and they're supposed to. Life changes. If you stay the same throughout all of your moments, well, don't be over here talking about you never got new things coming for you. Because new things require you to change. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like how most people thought, like, this is just a one-man band. It's not. I have a whole production staff with me. Now, I may oversee and I work on the things, but you got to understand this. I have plenty of people around me to help keep me together. And then not to mention the Jam Fam as an extension. And then not to mention, other creators that see what I'm doing and they get it. I'm not arguing with those people. Like, you probably noticed that me and Marco don't argue about these things because we get it. You know what I'm saying? And shout outs to Awful Productions, by the way. That's his company. He's incredible at what he does. You know what I'm saying? Or like me and Lucifer talk about things and stuff. We don't argue. We disagree sometimes, but we don't argue because we know what the hell we're into. You know what I'm saying? And I know my working musicians from my, I just have a guitar that sits in the back kind of musicians. And I'm not trying to gatekeep, mind you. I'm just saying you know the people. You have to keep going. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, we'll extend it this time too because a lot to cover on this. When I'm doing my own thing and you're feeling pretty jealous or you're feeling like a certain way about that, that means your ass need to go to work, don't it? If you ever thought about it, because it'll turn into a Speed Racer episode quick. I'm just letting you know. I wish I could be humble about it. I wish I could go ahead and say, like, sympathize with you, but I cannot. This is the new era. These are the new days. These are the new moments. More and more people are going to be coming in. More and more projects are going to be made. And let me just tell you, I'm going to have a ball doing it. That's what it needs to be. At least for my sake. And I just think it's a damn shame. Like, you got people out here, they want to jump into things because they think, oh, this is my time. I could blow up and I could get popular. Not really. Not the way these algorithms are going and stuff like that. It takes time. Commitment. What makes you better than me? What makes me better than you? I already know. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand that stuff. And like I said, you really shouldn't be dense. And if you have a conflict with anybody, like, here's the thing. If any of you have a problem with me, I usually look at you and say, well, come on ahead. What do you got to say? What do you got to say? But you will not come to me, will you? Some of y'all are so... how can I put it? You want to be confrontational, but you're so anti-confrontational that you're not going to come at me. You're going to run to my surrounding area. You're going to run to people I work with. You're going to run to people that are around me in the community and all that stuff. And you're going to say some things. But as soon as I show up in that room, you ain't going to say nothing. Or when I start giving good arguments back, you start getting embarrassed or you start scratching the other side of your neck and things like that because you're uncomfortable. I do not have a problem confronting people, ladies and gentlemen. I do what I do every fucking day. Do you understand? You know how, like, when you negotiate for a car or you negotiate for a house and stuff like that, that salesman seems to be beating you to the punch? He or she is there every fucking day. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, like how some people can charm people really, really good? Think about it. This ain't no puff and smoke kind of game. And at the end of the damn day, y'all need to get it together if you're going to be in this field. If you're going to be in any kind of field. And y'all should know this stuff by now. And especially, like, I really look at those of my contemporaries in the independent markets. I really look at you guys with a lot of side-eye nowadays. I'm like, because some of y'all be saying some weird, entitled shit, and it ain't going to get you nowhere. You want to be better than mainstream media? Then stop acting like mainstream media. Simple as that. But all in all, though, I got a lot of things I got to do, and... you know, we're going to have a great week. I should announce that. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. J360 Jams 87 is next Friday. So those who want to be a part of it, you know, email me at j360jams@gmail.com. 2 tracks and a link. Come on, you know this. It is coming. It will be here. And that deadline will be that Thursday before the show. Alrighty? But J-Man's got to get on out of here. So you guys take care of yourselves. We will catch up again on the J-Man Show tomorrow at 10. Take care. This is J-Man signing off. Peace.